Welcome everyone to today's teaching. Today we are looking at a topic I titled Restoration. Restoration. So our text is taken from the book of Jeremiah 30 verse 17. And I read the opening text. The opening text said, I read, "But I will restore you to health and heal your wounds, declares the Lord, because you are called an outcast, Zion for whom no one cares." I'll start by saying, what is restoration, or what does restoration mean? Restoration means returning something to its original place or owner. A restaurant is a restoring to an unimpaired or improved condition, which means whatever it is brought back to its original condition. It's no longer bad. It's no longer the way it is. It's now back to, before something is restored, there must be a problem with it. It has been shifted from its original place where God made it to be. So that shifting, God is telling us that He's bringing us back. The shifting the enemy must have done in our life, in any form, in any way. Some people were doing very good before. The enemy attacked them, attacked their finances, or attacked their marriage, or attacked their health. So that attack is a shift from God's original plan for you. It's not God's intention for you to be sick. It's not God's intention for you to be looking for money to eat and all that. So whatever that the enemy have done in your life is a shift. It's a diversion. It's not how God planned it to be. So restoration means bringing you back to that original state God intended. God made you with a plan and a purpose and intention. So if you are not the way God made you, God is saying today that He is more than able to restore you to how He created you to be, how He made it to function. So that's why I said one of the description I gave to it, I said is a restoring and to an unimpaired or improved condition. Is an improved condition. There's also bringing back to a former position or condition. Is a reinstatement. So the topic for today is for us to know that God wants to restore us to those years and things which we thought we have lost. The years the enemy have come to your life and caused havoc. God is saying to us that He can bring us back to a place of laughter, a place of hope, a place of no more tears. It's only God that can restore or bring back the hand of clock to reinstate a man back to where God wants them to be. If you have lost your houses, if you have lost your health, vision, the vision God gave you when you started your ministry, maybe you got confused along the way or you joined bad company. This teaching today is that God is telling you that He is going to give it back to you what you think you have lost. He can restore to you those things that seems to be lost. God is a God of second chance. He does not allow our life to come to an end because of one tragedy or mishap. God is the God of second. One tragedy cannot cause your life to end or become shapeless or hopeless. He is more than able to bring us back, build us back. Most time, what we call calamity or tragedy may seemingly look indeed like calamity or the end of one's life. But it's only over for any man when God said so, and not when a situation and circumstances said so. Taking the example from Jesus Christ, even the enemy thought that when He killed Jesus Christ, that's the end of His ministry. The prophets, right from when Jesus was born, Herod was chasing Him. The enemy is trying through enemies to kill Him. So his intention, if only I can kill Him, that's end of that's so-called king they said that is being born to this world. All the salvation, everything that being preached. So Satan was thinking that once he killed Jesus, that's the end of it. But he didn't know that killing Jesus is actually part of pushing him into his destiny. So that's what I'm saying here. I'm saying sometimes those situations we call tragedy, accident, mishap, whatever it is, God is actually using those situations to move us to where He wants us to be. God allows such a situation, in our life, either to get our attention or cause, either to cause us to seek Him. Let us lie low for a more devastating event to pass us by. I'm saying that something that seems to be a tragedy, God may have allowed that to happen to prevent something that would have been worse. I'm going to give us an illustration of someone that was traveling. That will help us to understand what I'm saying. A man of God gave a story of traveling for a crusade on his traveling for a crusade. Excuse me, I said that again. A man of God gave a story of traveling for a crusade. On his way, his newly bought, very well functioning vehicle developed a problem and refused to move. He didn't understand it. This is a new vehicle. Why will he not move? And he was getting late for his crusade. He tried all he can to make the car to move, but the car didn't move. He battled with it, check all the things he knew to check, touch all the places he could touch. He finally was not able to get his car moving. The car behind him was so impatient and annoyed, and for he's wasting his time, for delaying him. So this car behind him just zoomed past him in anger. Zoomed past him, drove far from him and passed him and continued going. So in anger anyway. So this preacher was still on the road thinking of what to do. Finally, a few minutes later, his car started to move. He had touched everything he learned to do. Finally, his car started to move. So as he was moving, lo and behold, in front of him was a terrible accident. And guess who was involved with the accident? The man behind him that had zoomed in front of him in anger was the one involved in the accident. And the man died on the spot. What happened? God could have used that his car that developed problem to save him, to remove him from the accident that was in front. Who knows how the accident came about? So God caused his car to stop so that somebody else will be the one to be involved, not him, because he's a child of God. God is protecting his own. Now, I'm using this to say that sometimes it's not all disasters, it's not all tragedies, it's not all bad situations that is meant for our bad. Sometimes God allowed them to use it to save us. Just like a illustration of Joseph's brother. We're not going to read it. It's a long story. We're not going to read it. But when Joseph's brother sold him to slave merchants and returned to tell their father that a wild animal had killed him, his father felt so bad. He mourned and cried, and I'm sure God must say, God, why did you allow such a thing to happen? But God knows that the discomfort and sorrow Jacob will bear will be nothing as compared to a greater glory he's been in Egypt to bring to the whole family. When there was serious famine, this Joseph that was sold to the merchant was the person that was now in charge of food. And there was famine in the whole land, including the land where his family was. So when there was serious famine, his brothers went to the land of Egypt to buy food. He was now the one person in charge. So imagine if he was not sold. But the time this incident happened, it was as if it was the end of the world. So what am I saying? Not every tragedy is meant to harm you. God could have allowed it to bring you a better glory. Now, I'm going to read from the book of Joel. But before I read it, let me say something. Now, let me read it. Joel chapter 2 verse 25, and I read, "And I will restore to you the years that the locust had eaten, the cankerworm and the caterpillar and the palmer worm, my great army which I sent among you." The Lord could have allowed some situation to happen in order to get our attention. He could have allowed this to happen, like what I'm trying to say here. For example, in our country some months ago, there is a tragedy of the COVID that have been making every situation to everybody to be confused. Now, I am saying that the largest virus is not even as big as the tip of our finger, the index finger, and God created it. So, but it is so tiny, but it's shutting down stadiums. It's stopping it's paralyzing the economy. Let me use that word. The virus is so small, tiny, but it's paralyzing the economy. Airlines, important meeting, and all that. Everything was put on hold for some months now. Now, as a nation, are we giving God his place? Are we giving God his honor? We watch televisions on Sunday. We use Sunday to rest and sleep as a sleeping day. We do everything. Some people say, oh, Sunday is the day they rest, they sleep, and they wake out and not going to church. That is the day. So that on Monday, we rest for Sunday. So on Monday, we start the rat race. Our churches are filled with elderly people. The youths are not in the stadium or wherever else they can be, or basketball or wherever they want to go to, but not in the church. Our churches are filled with elderly people. So where are the youths? We rest and sleep on Sunday so that Monday will continue. No honor or respect is given to Almighty God. Now, all of a sudden, everybody is saying, what do we do? What do we do? Brothers and sisters, I really think that we need to reappraise our priorities, the things we do, our value system, our mindset, the way we see things. We need to get our priorities right. If we are honoring God and giving Him His place, I'm sure He would not have allowed the virus to come to cause such a situation. We don't want God in our schools. We don't want the name of God anywhere. You know, sometimes when you talk with people, you are so mindful of what you say. You don't want to aggravate them by calling the name of God. You don't want that. Now, if calling the name of God will aggravate you, what will make you happy? I can't get it. There's some things I don't understand. If I'm having a discussion with you, I'll start mentioning about God. You got angry. What will I say that will make you happy? I don't know. We simply want to have fun without being disturbed. People live their life as if they're on earth just to have fun. The best video games, the best of these movies, the best of these games. That's all we are here for. Seriously? But God is calling us to return. Return. And when we return to Him, He'll return to us. God is a God of second chance. I'm going to read the book of Zechariah, chapter 1, verse 2 to 3. And I read, "The Lord was very angry with your ancestors. Therefore, tell the people," this is what the Lord Almighty says, "Return to me." Excuse me. Market. "Return to me, declares the Lord Almighty, and I'll return to you, says the Lord Almighty." Have you noticed that people that spend so much of their time in fun, whatever is the category of the fun, whatever it is that gives them fun, have you noticed that they are never satisfied with that same thing that gives them so much fun? Have you noticed it? Now, if in the end, whatever that makes us so happy, you still get bored with it, you still feel suicidal, you feel like, why then do you spend so much hour, whatever it is, that make you neglect your God? God is not interested in letting any plague or pestilence to kill us. But I think that, my personal opinion, God allowed the virus, the COVID-19 to arise to see whether we were going to come back to Him. He loves us. He doesn't like the way some of us dwell in hopelessness, chasing after shadows. I'm not saying you shouldn't go out and seek money or do what, but give God His place. He's your creator, He's your maker. Give Him His place. Worship Him on Sunday. Worship Him with all your heart. Love Him, accept Him. Then you can still go about and do your business. And I'm not saying eliminate all fun in your life. If you're someone that likes basketball, whatever you like, but all those things cannot take the place of God. That's my point. Do whatever you do, but remember God. Give God His own place, and you also take your own time for not time for going to church on Sunday morning is your best time to watch a basketball or whatever you watch. It's not right. Judgment and exile are the consequences of disobedience to the Lord covenant, but they are not the whole story when it comes to looking at how God deals with His people. As we have seen in the past few days, our Creator promises to deliver from His wrath all those who put their hope in Him. So if we read, we're not going to read it to save time. If we read, no, let's read this one. Then we're going to read the other one. If we read Exodus chapter 6 verse 8, let me just read that. Therefore, say to the Israelites, God is talking to Moses, "I am the Lord, and I will bring you out from under the yoke of the Egyptians. I will free you from being slaves to them, and I will redeem you with an outstretched arm and with mighty acts of judgment." Now, this place I read, the Israelites sinned, and they were living, the Egyptians where they are living, we are oppressing them. So, and they were not happy. God wanted them to go back. God hear our cries. God want Moses to go and save them so that they can go back to their own land and serve God. So that's what God is saying. That's the place that they say, "I'm the Lord. I will bring you out from under the yoke of the Egyptians." So even though they sinned and God allowed them to be taken in bondage, but God is having a rethink. So these people are not going to keep suffering, especially when they are calling upon Him and He's serving, and they are calling upon Him day and night. So that's why I said that even though the situation looks so terrible, no matter how it is in our own personal life, God is able to restore us. No matter how far we have gone in sin, God promised to restore all sinners who turn to Him in faith, no matter what they have done. until Christ's return or death occurs, whichever comes first, there's always hope that sinners can turn from their wickedness and begin to experience restoration in Jesus Christ. So don't say I have spent too many years in so thing. God is willing, waiting for you. If you have spent 20 years, 30, 10, 5 in sin, don't say I'm far gone. I hear that word. It can't be far gone. You're only far gone when you're dead. As long as you're alive, you can't be far gone. God's hand is stretched to receive you. So that is a short message for this evening, restoration. Just know that I said that God is able to receive you back, to restore you back to your original state. Don't say you are far gone. God is willing. Thank you for listening.